Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, long time since I drove.
Well, we're a family business. We were founded a long time ago, back in the 1930s, by my grandfather. And like many operators, we began as a landscape business and as nurserymen. But today we operate 15 garden centres. They're located in a fairly tight geographical area because we very much like to be able to get around all the centres to have a chat with the staff and meet some of the customers. It gives us great pleasure to get around the centres.
My father started the business. He was a gardener. He left home quite early in life. He went out as a garden boy until he gradually became a second gardener at a big girls' school here in Twickenham in St Margaret's. That's where he met my mother. And then he moved to a school very close to here, just along the road. By the start of the Second World War in 1939, he'd built a little team of about 10 gardeners. And he'd also leased a nursery in Surrey, so he was growing plants. It was a glasshouse nursery, so we were growing plants and carrying out small gardening jobs. So our nursery sold these lovely plants, but if you wanted a spade, we'd send you somewhere. If you wanted a lawnmower, we'd send you somewhere else. If you wanted a nice fencing panel, somewhere else. If you wanted a nice pot, somewhere else. It was garden furniture. Everybody, we sent them away. So 9 out of 10 customers coming to the nursery wanted something else with their plant and we couldn't sell it. So the logical thing to do was to try and sell more gardening products under one roof. And we started this in Surrey, but in 1963 this very run-down site, which had been a farm, came on the market and we were able to open our first garden centre, which opened here in 1964. I'm glad to say it's been successful, and I think it really has set the foundations for our company.
Obviously, when I was old enough, started working in the business at weekends and school holidays and then university holidays. And at that point, I was given jobs like working in the yard office, selling turf and fencing panels, arris rails and all those sorts of things. I learnt a lot about selling topsoil by the yard, as it was in those days. And we've been very fortunate to be involved in things like Chelsea Flower Show, Hampton Court Flower Show, all sorts of things over the years. And it's been terrific fun and planning things, and particularly when it comes to redeveloping sites or acquiring new sites, it's been very exciting. So yeah, obviously we don't always agree on absolutely everything, but I think it's a dynamic that seems to work.
I defer to Sarah on everything.
I think right from the start you were quite keen to make sure that Squires was a place where things were happening and going on. So I remember as a child, when it was bulb time, there'd be Dutch ladies coming over with their clogs and what have you, and you had an early hovercraft here.
That's right,
once,
yes.
And we've got this fantastic picture of one of the mayoresses with an early Flymo lawnmower, poor lady, persuaded to give this a go. And so I think you're always quite keen on things actually happening at the garden centres. We try and make sure that we are reinvesting and trying to keep the garden centres looking at their best and up to scratch, really, because people's expectations have changed so much. Gone are the days where they'd expect that you're in a garden centre, a bit of dirt around the pots is fine. Today people want department store standards of cleanliness, when actually we're dealing with quite a mucky product a lot of the time. So it is a bit like the Forth Bridge, and the staff do an amazing job to keep things clean and tidy and looking good throughout the year, really. Every year we're inspected by the Garden Centre Association to make sure we're up to scratch, and we have been fortunate enough to be awarded Garden Centre of the Year here at Twickenham, and then most recently the plant area was awarded the best plant area in the country. So those are awards that we're really proud of because we're being judged by our peers.
I think my father would be very proud and very pleased of the business if he saw it today, because he had always high standards, the sort of what he wanted to maintain, what he expected. He was a very tidy dresser himself. He always wore a rose in his buttonhole. He always liked to see our staff looking professional, and I think we have, if anything, we've got better. I think the layout of the garden centre's got better, but we've still maintained that high standard and that real love of the industry, of the plants that we sell, which is the cornerstone of our business.
hope people continue to enjoy coming here for many, many decades to come. And our aim has always been to be hopefully providing a really lovely product at a fair price and to give really good standards of service. That's really what we're all about.